Remember the interstellar upgrade? Well, it's finally done, it's finally here, and it actually happened. I'll talk about what this means for VeChain in today's video, even though this is just my personal review perspective and nothing I say is financial advice, and I am not telling anyone to do anything. So again, recently we saw a proposal, or a vote I should say, as to whether or not the interstellar upgrade should happen, and it actually did. Now, the reason why this is so important when it comes to VeChain is because this massively improves EVM, or should I say Ethereum virtual machine compatibility. Now, of course, this is a good thing when it comes to VeChain because, yes, I get it, right? I'm a fan of the VeChain Thor blockchain, but at the same time, it's nowhere near as popular as Ethereum. So, of course, if there's an upgrade to literally improve Ethereum virtual machine compatibility, and as we all know, Ethereum is basically one of the most popular layer 1 blockchains of all time. If there's again an upgrade for a certain project to help improve Ethereum virtual machine compatibility, I don't see why that's a bad thing. If anything, I think it's a pretty major victory when it comes to VeChain. Now, is it gonna make the price do this or do that? No. And the reason why I say that is because the market is not doing good. But at the same time, though, this is a monumental achievement when it comes to VeChain because this is yet another upgrade that is a part of the Renaissance roadmap when it comes to VeChain. That's literally the name, by the way. But again, we've seen Galactica in terms of the upgrade. We've seen the Hayabusa upgrade. That was a very massive one. I even made a video about that. But besides that, now we're seeing Interstellar come into fruition. It actually did happen. So yes, VeChain not doing good, but fundamentals, it seems like it's improving. I didn't see this back then in 2024 and all this. Yet, the peak in 2024 compared to right now, totally night and day difference. The peak in 2024, keep in mind, when it comes to VET is currently around 13 times away from that. I'm not joking. That is literally the case. We are currently around 13 times away from the peak in 2024 when it comes to VeChain's primary native token called VET. And was 2024 the peak when it comes to VeChain? No. The peak when it comes to VeChain is 2021. So 2024 is already a far cry compared to 2021. Totally night and day difference. But yet still, we're around 13 times away from the peak in 2024. Yet the projects, I feel, has become at least a couple times better since 2024. The reason why I say that is because not only have I seen the Galactica, Hayabusa, and Interstellar upgrade happen, but also at the same time, VeChain, unlike back in 2024, seems very focused when it comes to AI currently. Now we see VeWorld AI, which recently launched, and that is powered by Agent Suite. VeChain's doing things. There's this AI focus, and then also on top of that, the Interstellar upgrade recently happened. I think the Interstellar upgrade is actually very crucial towards VeChain because if they want to be focused on AI, which it seems like they really want to be as of right now, of course, having better Ethereum virtual machine compatibility is going to help them with that mission. It doesn't mean that it will make them succeed, not necessarily, but at least it's going to maybe try to help them, right? It's going to help its sort of mission. That's my point of view. Now, people like to tell me, when it comes to VeChain, this is a project that is focused on supply chain management. What do they know about AI? They can't be focused on it. A lot of people like to tell me that. But my response is, well, why not though? What gives any project within this space the rights to say that, oh yeah, we can be focused on AI and they can't? What? Who gives them the capabilities to say that, they can and the others can't? Because if we take a look at, for instance, BitTensor, which is a project that's very focused on AI, some people could arguably also say, what do they know about AI, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of that project, but I'm just using it as an example. Take a look at the Near protocol. The Near protocol is not originally known as a project for AI, by the way. It is now, though. So people can also say, hey, what gives them the right to be focused on that? It's really the same thing here, right? If BitTensor, something like, let's say in the case of Near, if they can be focused on AI, why can't VeChain? The VeChain Thor blockchain, ever since 2018, has had 0 network outages. That's really difficult. We've seen the network outages in the past, right? Even though it's largely been fixed. But again, we've seen some of the past hypothetical issues in regard to Solana in terms of network outages in the past, right? But again, it has improved in my opinion, but still. VeChain, or should I say the VeChain Thor blockchain, zero network outages ever since 2018. That's so tough. That's almost a decade ago, right? 2018 is almost 10 years ago, nearly a dozen years, and no network outages when it comes to VeChain Thor, which is quite impressive. And that really does matter because in the case of AI, what is one of the top priorities? Reliability. The VeChain Thor blockchain, ever since 2018, zero network outages. Reminds me of a Toyota. You know, some of my friends call this the Toyota of blockchains. It doesn't mean it is, but it's just kind of like a nickname, you know? But besides that, when it comes to VeChain as of right now, I'm still holding because all this type of stuff that I'm seeing, sometimes it won't matter until maybe it does. Let's think about this. VeChain didn't matter for quite a while, and then 2021 came along, right? Sometimes things don't matter until they do. Shiba Inu and Dogecoin at one point, quote unquote, didn't really matter. Take a look at what happened to them in 2021, and even as of right now, still, you know, amongst one of the most popular projects out there, even within the space. And they're memes, right? So we gotta let that sink in. Sometimes things don't matter until they maybe do. It doesn't mean they will, but I'm just saying. So when it comes to VeChain, I'm just still holding. I'm still waiting. You know, I don't know how long I'm going to have to wait, right? People always ask me how long I'm going to have to wait and all this. I can't answer on anyone's behalf, by the way, and I'm only speaking on my behalf. But personally, I don't know when things would recover. Now, the reason why I don't know is because what am I going to do? Pull up a price chart, draw some random triangles, draw a falling wedge pattern. Do you think that's going to make me know randomly when things are going to recover? I highly doubt it because whatever I draw on that price chart, the market is not going to care. So at that point, I'm just going to be drawing. For what? I don't want to do that. I'd rather focus on the updates, the fundamentals, because the updates and the fundamentals is what usually allows a project to kind of make it through a market downturn anyways. It's not me drawing on a price chart, because if I'm only taking a look at the price charts, I won't know that the interstellar upgrade happened. I won't know about Galactica. I won't know about the Hayabusa upgrade. I won't know about all this if I'm only taking a look at the charts, right? Because if I'm only taking a look at the charts, this looks really bad. But it doesn't seem that way, especially if I take a look at the fundamentals. Because if I take a look at the fundamentals, I'm like, wait, hold up, this is improving, and yet the charts are low. If something that I liked, or something that I like, I should say, is cheaper, would I complain about that in real life? Like, let's say I liked a pair of shoes, and it had a discount. Would I complain? I don't think I would. Especially if it became better. Like, let's say it had better features and all this, and then suddenly it had a bigger discount. Would I complain? I don't think I would. But that's just kind of my mentality. So when it comes to this space, again, I don't know when things would recover or if they ever even could, but I'm just still waiting. You know, I don't mind waiting for years because this is a background activity when it comes to what I'm just doing. Like, let's say in the case of holding, like, it's a passive activity as I continue on with my journey, right? It's just along the way, I'm a fan of these type of projects. I want to be holding, even though I don't have to, but I'm voluntarily doing so and just waiting, that's it. But nonetheless, when it comes to VeChain, that recent upgrade that I saw, it seemed quite impressive to me. So of course, naturally, I wanted to make, a video about this because remember my last video, right? I was talking about the interstellar upgrade and, the results that we saw so far, but eventually it did pass. And now we see the interstellar upgrade. So yeah, this seems quite impressive. And I've always said, right, I didn't see any reason why the interstellar upgrade wouldn't happen. I always thought it hypothetically would anyways, just because the Galactica and the Hayabusa upgrade happened. So I thought, it wouldn't make any sense for suddenly Interstellar not to happen. So then Interstellar actually happening, it didn't surprise me at all because I just thought to myself, it would be so awkward if this didn't happen, but then it actually did, and it kind of matches what happened in the past, right? Where Galactica and Hayabusa also happened in terms of the upgrade. So this is just like the natural step forward in terms of the upgrades. But yeah, besides that point, I'll be sure to make more updates when it comes to VeChain. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a very wonderful day. It's been Lee the Captain.